Come back. We carry on with the Monday report. We're discussing the state of football with that FIFA suspension hanging over our heads. And we have the right stakeholders to help us understand what is going on and possibly also figure out what is the way forward. This is some of your feedback. Before we play those videos, Felix Lilechi is saying, where do we draw the line between CAF FIFA procedures and accountability by FKF? Can we allow people who are charged with the responsibility of running the affairs of local football to do whatever they want to do and then hide behind so-called FIFA rules? Okay, let's read and hear, rather, some of your video comments and your video questions as well. Let's play the first one.
In the near future, let's get it right on who heads various dockets in this country. If it's the Ministry of Health, let's have a medical doctor heading that ministry. If it is the Ministry of Sports, let's have someone who, for instance, who played football leading that docket.
I'm sure FIFA would not have banned the Kenya football if the ministry of to all the football clubs. It's very unfortunate and very sad that these have left our young ones who play football into a very awkward position. It's a total disservice. Very sad indeed.
There is no way you can tell us that Football Kenya Federation are the members of FIFA without having government structure. The Kenyan laws are very clear. Article 2, the laws of the land are supreme than international laws. The Sports Act is very clear about Article 46 about registration of sports organizations. You cannot conduct any sporting activity in Kenya unless registered under the Sports Act, Article 46, in the office of the sports registrar. There is no way you can run away from that. The way forward is very simple, and I know this one Aduda cannot tell you.
All right. Before Aduda responds, his name was mentioned there. John Bobby Ogola, I can allow you to come in as well. We're still wondering, where did the discussions break down? That second meeting, why did it not happen?
Let me answer that, Bob.
Let me say something before Ali speaks. You have heard it from these guys, the way they talk. They want football to proceed, as usual. But I want to take us back to the starlets, their non-participation. Because up to Thursday last week, I think we should have been free to play football, even internationally. Because I remember Zimbabwe went to the Cup of Nations and played, and then when they went back is when this suspension was slapped on them. What I don't understand about not being prepared is that, what is it that entails not being prepared? Because if you can put a team in camp and pay them allowances and provide everything, and also assure the away team that they are going to come and play and everything will be taken care of, I think the Secretary General, Mr. Barry, shouldn't have interfered with that one. Okay? That is my take. And so I really want to ask my friend Ludwig to explain to us what it means by not being ready to play so that I understand. He's a very good friend of mine. I think he will enlighten us on that one.
You ask him that question directly?
Yeah.
Ludwig, let me allow you to respond.
Not being prepared, what does that mean?
I don't know what position now you hold at FKF for you to answer, but he thinks you have an answer.
Having been the Secretary General of the Federation some time back.
Okay. Aduda?
Thank you very much, Waiga and Bobby.
Thank you.
I mean, like I did mention before, according to CAF and FIFA, that is why they still continue writing to Barry. They know that Barry is the Secretary General of their member association called Football Kenya Federation. Now, whatever made Barry to have that response, in that letter was based on the fact that the secretariat or the nerve center from where they operate were not in their possession, and therefore they could not, in the current circumstances, be in a position to guarantee the proper preparations of that match. Now, the solution there was very simple. If you look at the last paragraph of that letter that Barry wrote to CAF, he did mention that he, on behalf of the federation, I believe, yeah, would advise CAF if the circumstances changed and they were now able to, prepare well. It is instructive to note that the federation or the activities of the federation are run by respective departments and committees. The women football, for instance, we have a lady, Doreen Nabuire, in charge of that desk. We have had Franco Gola in charge of the competitions. We have somebody like Evans Ocharo, who is in charge of safety and security. Okay. We have somebody like Kirwa, who is in charge of the referees division.
I'll rush you in the interest of time.
If that secretariat was operational, these officers, would have been in a position to conduct, the preparations for that match. Let us be honest with one another. Secondly, in response to what Ali is talking about, we have totally different situations. I am the one who sued FIFA. I know what it took us to get to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which I went and addressed. And the result was that the two federations who were, purportedly running football in the country those days, Football Kenya Limited and Kenya Football Federation, we had to sign a mandate, a joint mandate, which we deposited at FIFA, which allowed for a joint all-inclusive elections. And even after that joint inclusive elections, we did sign a memorandum which we equally deposited with FIFA, which allowed that at the end of those elections which were conducted in 2011, we were going to register a new federation, which I was the first person to register it, the current Football Kenya Federation. So I am talking from a point of not what we are presupposing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bwana Duda. Let me pick a few more messages, then allow Ali to respond. I know he needs to speak. This is what else Kenyans are saying this evening regarding the state of football.
To be more than fair, Kenya football was pitched to evil doms long time ago. Now our question that comes to our minds, where would our young, talented boys and girls take their talents to if Kenya has been kicked out from FIFA?
Yes, I was saying that we should keep politics away from football if we want to have our team move to the next level.
I'm looking forward for the Kenyan government to be able to realize the pathetic situation that we are in, that they are going to kill the talents of the young people in this land.
You see, sports directly benefit mostly 90% the youth. Now, the government knew very well that FIFA could ban us. You see, now is the government supporting the talent of Kenyans? You see, even the referees of Kenya, these are people of Kenya, the employees who have been employed by football. Is the Kenya now demoralizing the youth and the referees and the sport in this country? You see, the sport in this country is like never like before. The government has to come out and tell us what is it after the sport and the youth and the talent in this nation.
A lot of passionate pleas there from football fans, but I'm only hearing from men. I'm not sure why we're not getting any views from ladies. Please send them in. We want to get those voices in as well. Ali, come in. And one of the viewers had an interesting point. Please respond to this. He said politics. Politics. What are these interests that affect football in this country that you can attempt to reform cricket and you find some way forward, but with football it's a completely different matter?
Yeah, all right. Actually, yes, politics. That is a cancer we have in football. And we don't want to cure the cancer, you see. And I like the gentleman, he said about the youth. You see, the question I'll pose back, how will you actually capture the talent of youth if there are no structures? Again, I'll put the name structures, you see. And if you look, this politics that you're calling, it's only 10% administrators. But when you look at the clubs and the players, there are no politics.
Is there politics in the caretaker committee?
There are no politics in the caretaker politics.
We hear there was supposed to be a referee, a coach's training or recruitment of some sort recently, and it was postponed hurriedly. Some are saying politics, even in your committee, is alive and well.
In fact,
can you respond to that?
Yes. In fact, I think you're coming with that because Bobby is the chairman for the technical committee.
Yes, I've seen his name on that
I'm the vice chairman of the technical committee. What we are saying is we had put a structure and we told the caretaker chairman not to hurry up because what is the structure? You need to get data for all the coaches. You see, what kind of certificates do they have? You see, how active have they been? You see, because remember, all this will come from different parts of the country. What we are trying to run away from is concentrating, selecting coaches from particular regions. We want a coach coming from Samburu. We want a coach coming from Hispania. You see, and Bobby was very clear with that. He said, unless we have the list of all the coaches, you see, the ones which have CAF B and everything, all their certificates, and see, what is the database of the coaches do we have in this country? That is a question that should ask. And that's what me and Bobby are saying. Until and when we get the database, then we'll know where the gaps are. You see, and say, which county has gaps? Which place has, we need to go in first. But that thing is in place. And if by any chance the mandate is, we are in this office and we can achieve it before that, we'll do that training. It's already in our agenda. It's just a matter of when and what time to execute it.
So it's not politics?
There are no politics at all. And I'll tell you why there are no politics. We actually inherited a league. We just took a league from no office. Had a small team, put simple structures, started digitalizing the process, which was very, very difficult. You see, today you can have real-time reports. You see, right now we're actually building up and see how any Kenyan can go into a phone and get the results real-time. You see, and that's what we are trying to champion. Say, can we digitalize the entire process so that any Kenyan seated anywhere, just on a click on a phone, they can get exactly results of all the league tiers. You see, and without data, and I'll say this in capital, data is a key driver for football today in Kenya. Football in Kenya is not about kicking the ball. It's one of the biggest commercial opportunities that we are missing today. You see, we're talking about brand partnerships. Do we have brand partnership in this country whereby Adidas comes and say, Adidas, we will be the one giving you the kit, just like our friends in the athletics, where Nike is partnering with them. You see, so imagine if Adidas comes and partner with us. We're talking about sponsorship who want transparency, where the money is going, how can they account for it and everything. You see, we have T-shirt sponsorships, several avenues of revenues that are in place, but those revenues can only be realized until and when we put systems in place.
Okay. I need the other two panelists to speak, but let's play the last clip so that I can allow each of them now to have their final word on this. Let's get some final views, comments from our viewers this evening.
I want to make a question to Mr. Aduda. What does he mean when he says that FIFA does not recognize a country called Kenya? Why do we know very well that a federation cannot be there without a country? The FIFA recognizes the federation or association members through the countries. So when he tells us as footballer fanatics that FIFA does not recognize Kenya, where do we lie? Are we in a country or we are in an association?
Waiga, could you please ask the panel if whatever they're saying about patriotism is actually factual? Because to me, I think they're only after looking after the pay packs that they're getting as the caretaker committee, and they're not interested at all with making an improvement in the situation of football. And was still the reason why we found ourselves in this FIFA situation currently.
Is it in order the government of the day to fund the FKF, but the same government has no authority whatsoever to question the expenditure of the taxpayers? Oh no, let us be banned until we make a better FKF for our football.
Hi Ali, we appreciate what you've been doing as the caretaker committee. And for 2 weeks, the games have been scheduled and cancelled for the Division 2 League. Kindly update us on the way forward now that the teams have been waiting. And we just want to know the way forward as we prepare for the league.
Can we stop minding about the FIFA ban and focus on making our systems work? Because our systems are not working totally. Systems in Kenya for football are not working.
Different views from Kenyans this evening. Let me get some final thoughts from each of my guests. Aduda, I think you've been most quiet, then I'll come to you, Bwana Bobby. Kenyans are asking, okay, so how do we move from here? Is it one option? Is it two options that we have? How would you summarize it, Bwana Aduda?
Well, I wish we had more time because there are lots of things that we need to talk about. But quickly, I'll respond to one or two things, then I will give out what I think needs to be done. Now, somebody mentioned the issue of Article 46 of the Sports Act, that any body that is not registered according to that act, cannot be allowed to operate as a sports body. Indeed, that is contained in 46.1. When you get to 46.2a, the registrar is mandated to register either. The simple English there is either. A as a football club, B as a county association, and C as a national sports organization. FKF at the moment is registered under Article 46.2c. It behoves, therefore, according to the FKF Constitution, that any legal entity registered under A, being a club, or any legal entity registered under B as a county associations, can only be members of the national sports body when they follow down whatever is contained in the constitution of that body. Secondly, we are talking about the Constitution being in compliance. I believe that a copy of the current Constitution was filed with the registrar, as is required by law. I'm not so sure whether the registrar has equally indicated the gaps found in the current Constitution that are not compatible with the Act, or two, what ought to be put in that Constitution so that that Constitution becomes compliant with the Sports Act as is required by law. Now, if that is done, then there is a procedure through which all these things that Ali is talking about must be contained in that Constitution, whether they are the structures or whatever he's talking about, the leagues or under 12 and the rest. You cannot regulate a sport without amending the Constitution. Now, that very Constitution, which the CS has directed the committee where you people belong to, is mandated to use the FKF Constitution. So I wonder how all these grand ideas will end up in that Constitution if you are not involving those people who are charged with the responsibility. Second thing is, I am not sure whether the elections have been invalidated. Yes? So the only solution, in my view, is to use the Article 21, where other bodies of FKF are still in existence. The caretaker committee, with those grand ideas Ali is talking about, should come as recommendations so that they are domiciled through a constitutional procedure contained in the current FKF Constitution, which they have been directed to use so that we can be able to get these solutions. Otherwise, we can sit here for eternity trying to outdo one another, but that is not going to help us. At the end of the day, the sufferer is going to be the player.
Okay, no, I think you've raised a crucial point. Bobby, come in on that. Grand ideas, he says, but without involving the current structures. Ali, I'll give you the last word. We're not going anywhere.
Come again?
Grand ideas that the committee has, but without involving the other structures of FKF, you're not moving anywhere.
We are working towards that. We will involve them. Now that FIFA has come out and suspended us, we know the magnitude of the problem now seriously. And if I may go back to what Ali was saying about politics that you said about coaching course, I think we were supposed to hold a coaching course, a refresher course for various coaches in various leagues. And I think from the last speaker who spoke on video, he said, let's forget about the FIFA ban and work towards getting back to the mainstream of football, that is working with FIFA. I think these grand ideas, we will work with the Secretariat because it was never banned. It was never disbanded. And I think along the way, things will work very quickly. And then we just get back to business as usual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ali, you've been really wanting to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks to Aduda. Say the grand ideas. Actually, these grand ideas, Aduda, and thank you for agreeing with them. These are not new things. Bernard Zigol was here, put together a youth team, which also involved Bobby, and for history purpose, Bobby joined the national team at 19, finished at 29. Youth structures are always there to build food. So all these grand ideas have been there, but the administration coming in, they try to erase them. Now back to the constitution that Aduda said. First, Kenya is a country of 47 counties. In that constitution, there are 48 counties. For Kenyans to know today, in the FKF constitution, there are 48 counties, which means Nairobi is split in two. That is the first anomaly in that constitution. Second thing, and I want to jog my friend Aduda's mind. I'll read something here.
Briefly, please.
Briefly, on FKF constitution. Article 1 to 9, general provisions. What does it say? Name, headquarters, legal form. It says, Football Kenya Federation, FKF, is an organization of an associative nature registered in Kenya in compliance with the Sports Act, in capital letters, with the Sports Act number 25 of 2013 as a national sports organization. It is formed for an unlimited period. So already in the FKF constitution, they are recognizing the compliance part. And what is compliance?
The Sports Act 2013.
Yeah, the Sports Act. And what is the Sports Act? Very simple example. You're a Kenyan at 18, get an ID. You see, you're a club, just be compliant. Why should you be compliant as a club? So that if there's any transaction of a player, internal, if a sponsor comes to you to give you money to sponsor you, they want to know who you are, location, the structure, the organogram of the structure of the club, and everything. Whatever institution you are, whatever affiliate you are, for you to be recognized, have the document in order. That is compliance. And it is in their own constitution, the FKF. You see. So when you're reading a constitution, read it fully to understand it. I'm not a counsel per se, but this is very straightforward English. So the word that comes in from my good friend Aduda, it is coming after. But from the inception, what does the constitution say? And I'll say, you can't be 48 counties. We have 47 counties.
Okay. And you mentioned that. One question that's coming from a viewer, please ask Amor, how much money so far has the committee spent?
Thank you. I mean, as per policy, you can't come in public and say, this is the amount. We are not an audit firm to give you how much you've spent.
But surely it's taxpayers' money.
But what you said, it has been spent wisely. It's audited almost on a weekly basis and a very good watch. And remember, we have a chairman who is very critical when it comes to numbers because of historical successes, both as a judge and 2 terms in ESCC.
This is Aaron Ringera.
Yes, so we are very, very careful with our spend and everything. And after our mandate, all clear records will come out in the public.
But for now, you don't want to make that public?
Yeah, because we are still in the office and it's still happening. So to give out numbers could be misleading.
And the same viewer asks, do they want to continue now that FIFA has spoken? The caretaker still wants to carry on with its work?
No, we will carry out until our mandate.
When is that?
Yeah, that is 2 months to come. You see, because we were incepted in November 12th, I think up to May 11. May 11.
Another 2 months.
Yeah, another 2 months, and we are out, you see. And put all these good successes that we have that, and to the new team or to the normalization team that is coming up.
Okay. I'm told we have a few tweets, then we wrap this up in the interest of time. Let's put the tweets up on this screen. Okay, this is what Kenyans are saying on Twitter. Remember, hashtag Monday report, SMS line 22422. Dennis Kangwana says, FIFA didn't wake up one day and decide to suspend FKF. The CS should have given FIFA reasons why she opted to suspend the FKF officials, then go ahead and appoint the caretaker committee. That's a Dennis Kangwana. Okelo Mwalimu. Tribulations facing football management in Kenya coupled with FIFA sanctions teach us one lesson. All concerned bodies should get serious on matters football. What has the government done to grow local football so as to reduce exportation of players? We must find local solutions. That's Okelo Mwalimu. Vincent Voyo, what is the budget of the caretaker committee? What have they achieved so far since last November? The budget, that question has not been answered. What have they achieved? I don't know if they will. Answer, Robert Kiberenga, FIFA micromanaging is an interference in our internal matters and a blatant infringement on our sovereignty. FIFA's powers must be revised. That's from Robert. Jairo Soja, football fan, says, I support the move to, I support the caretaker committee. We must fix our football. Let's give them a chance. He calls himself Gor Mahia 001. In the interest of time, I'll give you each 30 seconds for a last word. Aduda, let's start with you in 30 seconds. What's your last word on this matter?
Waiga, I've realized we are skirting around trying to get a solution.
Okay.
All these things we are talking about, FIFA has already given us their position with conditions. Do away with the caretaker committee and open up the premises. If indeed we want to solve this problem, we don't need to have grandstand positions, because at the end of the day, we are in charge of, the players. They are the ones who are going to get, hurt most. In my view, therefore, we are looking at the federation in terms of individuals to seem like they are synonymous to the federation. No, that from my perspective is not the case. So are we able to sit and look at how do we get our solutions? If you asked me, for instance, if there is tangible evidence of impropriety, financial impropriety, or unethical, behavior, on behalf of, on the ousted members of the National Executive Committee, there is a solution which lies in that very FKF constitution. Article 31 of that FKF constitution empowers the members of that General Assembly to be able to convene or request for the convening of a special general meeting where the members can discuss all these things. That same very constitution has an article that mandates the General Assembly to exercise the authority, which includes ratification of even the decision that has been taken by the minister with respect to having invoked Article 54.
Yes.
That same article empowers the general meeting. If somebody like Barry, has been found to have not been patriotic enough, and therefore that behavior is unethical, that general meeting has the legislative authority to deal with those things. Let us not run away from getting a solution.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to cut you off in the interest of time. Bobby, last word.
Thank you, Waihiga. Mine is just to say that now that FIFA has given us a direction to follow, it is for us now to find a way of getting Kenyan football back, because time is not on our side, but we have tried to clean house, and if possible, all the messes that were there. The time is short, but we cannot do everything. But for the interest of the players, of our players, and all the people who are involved in the game, I think we should just work in tandem with FIFA the way they want, so that we get back to football as quickly as we can.
Okay.
We're going to try that.
Okay. Ali, finally, and a viewer asked budget. You said that you won't say it. Achievements, one or two?
I will answer about part of the budget in terms of the spend. We gave clubs, KPL clubs, 300,000. NSL 250,000, and for the first time in Kenyan history, our referees, the ladies referees and the men, are equally paid. You see, but for the first time, the women Premier League club are being paid equally with the KPL club. That's quite a big achievement. And for the first time, we actually had a panel of interviewing a coach whereby Kenyans could see exactly what is happening. This is to avoid handpicking. And let's not forget, we are putting structures. Leagues are ongoing. With or without the ban, the leagues won't stop. That is quite an achievement. What I'm saying is everybody's going to play football as the other negotiations going on. You see, those are the achievements we're talking about. And we actually go visit different clubs, you see, to sensitize them on their rights, on compliance, you see, so that this is part of the stakeholder roadmap, you see. And we'll still keep on bringing stakeholders, especially KPL clubs, NSL, all the way down, to actually dealer educate them about what is compliance, what are your rights of constitution. Because what we found out, there's a lot of miscommunication between up here and down there. We get a lot of surprises. Today, if you visit the registrar office, the heap of compliance is up here. This was not happening before. Now clubs realize for you to seek funds, for you to be a real club, you have to be compliant. You see, so we cannot shy away from the compliance law. You see, so these are the quite achievements. And to conclude, and to one of the speaker on video...
You won't mention allowances and salaries?
We will not mention allowances and salaries, or he gets even me and you, I mean, where we work, where I work, your pay slip...
This is not taxpayers' money.
Yeah, it is taxpayers' money. And I said earlier, once we are finished, we'll account for each and every penny that has been spent.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to each of my guests. We're going to have to leave it there in the interest of time. I know many of you have more questions, but I guess football will not be fixed in one day. Hopefully we are on a journey to doing that. Thank you to each of my guests. We've had Lord Vic Aduda. He's a former CEO of FKF, and some are terming him a football encyclopedia, really walking us through those statutes. We've had a legendary footballer here, John Bobby Ogola, head of technical at the moment at the FKF Caretaker Committee, and Ali Amour, chair, leagues and competitions at the FKF Caretaker Committee. 4 days into that FIFA suspension, and this is the state of football this evening. Are we headed in the right direction or not? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for having tuned in. We'll keep tabs on what's happening and give you updates as and when we get them. But at the moment, that is the situation so far. We're going to have to leave it at that. Now, on behalf of the whole team that's made the Monday report possible this evening, my name is Wahiga Mwaura. Our sign language interpreter this evening has been Yulan Zale. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe. God bless football. That's how I'm going to leave it this evening. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.